Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Current Affairs, wherein we are going to talk about the important news of the final week of May 2022. To begin with, last week, India joined the Indo-Pacific trade deal. United States President Joe Biden on 23rd of May launched a new trade deal with 12 Indo-Pacific nations, including India. The deal aims at strengthening their economies. The deal, known as Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, is designed to signal America's commitment to the contested economic sphere and to address the need for stability in commerce after disruptions caused by the pandemic and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The IPEF is expected to help the United States and the Asian economies work more closely on issues including supply chains, digital trade, clean energy, worker protections, and anti corruption efforts. The trade deal seems to be an offshoot of the Indo-Pacific Security Alliance called QUAD that comprises of the United States, Japan, Australia, and India. The nations joining IPEF are Australia, Brunei, India, Indonesia, Japan, South Korea, Malaysia, New Zealand, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. Along with the United States, the 12 Indo Pacific nations together represent 40% of the world gross domestic product. In a significant development, a special Delhi court sentenced the separatist and former militant Yasin Malik to life in prison for funding terror in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The court awarded him two life sentences and five sentences of 10 years, and all these sentences will run concurrently. The court also imposed a penalty of rupees 10 lakh on Yasin Malik. Earlier, Yasin Malik was charged with hatching a criminal conspiracy, waging war against the country, disturbing peace in Kashmir, indulging in terrorist activities, and raising funds for the terrorist activities. Yasin Malik had also pleaded guilty to all the charges in the terror funding case, and the National Investigation Agency, NIA, subsequently sought death penalty for Malik, who claimed that he had not indulged in any terror act for the past 28 years. After the Delhi High Court convicted Yasin Malik, Pakistan summoned India's diplomat in Pakistan and handed a demarche to him alleging that the charges against Malik were fabricated. The Uttar Pradesh government, led by Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, will spend rupees 6.15 lakh crores in the financial year 2022-23. The State Finance Minister, Suresh Khanna, presented the budget and also added that 25% of the total amount has been earmarked for capital spending. A 40,000 crore target has been set for attracting investment in the IT and electronics sectors alone in Uttar Pradesh. This year's state budget also shows that Uttar Pradesh is on a path of fiscal consolidation, with the budgeted fiscal deficit of 22-23 being 3.96% as compared to a budgeted estimate of 4.72% for FY 21-22. The state still faces the challenge of bringing down its debt to gross state domestic ratio, gross state domestic product ratio, which is expected to be around 32.5% for the financial year 22-23. While this is an improvement compared to the revised estimate of 21-22, which was at 34.5%, it is still higher than 29.1% value in 2020 and 21. New schemes worth rupees 39,181 crores were also proposed in the state budget. Australia elected its new Prime Minister last week. The Australians elected Anthony Albanese of the centre-left Labour Party as the new Prime Minister, and the centre-left Labour Party is likely to form the country's next government. and unprecedented support for Greens and the climate focused independents ended nearly a decade of rule by the Conservative coalition. Albanese is considered to be a pragmatic leader coming from a working class background and who has also pledged to end divisions in the country. Albanese and four senior ministers were sworn in on 23rd of May last Monday, allowing the new Prime Minister to attend a Quad summit in Tokyo on Tuesday with the leaders of the United States, India, and Japan. The rating agency Moody's has lowered India's growth rate for the financial year 2022-23. Moody's Investor Services, in its global macro outlook 22-23, has lowered India's GDP growth rate to 8.8% from 9.1% earlier. According to Moody's, the rise in crude oil prices, which have sustained above $100 mark for several weeks for now, coupled with the rise in food and fertilizer prices, will adversely impact India's calendar year 2022 GDP growth rate. However, Moody's also maintained that if the crude oil prices and the food prices don't rise any further, the Indian economy seems strong enough to maintain a solid growth momentum. State Bank of India research EcoRap has also projected a GDP growth of FY22 at 8.5% and for the last quarter of financial year 22 at 2.7%. The FY22 GDP projection is lower than 9.2% GDP growth rate forecast in the Union Budget of financial year 22-23. Geetanjali Shree has become the first Indian author to win the prestigious International Booker Prize for her original Hindi novel Tome of Sand, originally Ret Samadhi. The 64-year-old New Delhi-based Jawaharlal Nehru University alumnus accepted her £50,000 prize at a ceremony recently held in London and shared it with book's English translator Daisy Rockwell. The Booker judges dubbed the book as a joyous cacophony and an irresistible novel. Ret Samadhi is a family saga set in northern India about an 80-year-old woman who travels to the neighboring country Pakistan to confront the unresolved trauma of her teenage experiences of partition and reevaluates what it means to be a mother, a daughter, a woman, and a feminist. Finally, Delhi gets its new lieutenant governor. After Anil Baijal resigned, citing personal reasons, the Khadi and Village Industries Commission's chairman, Vinay Kumar Saxena, has been appointed as the new lieutenant governor of Delhi. The move has actually surprised many, including the incumbent state government. Saxena is the first non-bureaucratic and non-defense background person to be appointed as a lieutenant governor. Saxena, after his swearing, informed to the media that he will work for Delhi as a local guardian for Delhi residents and will be active in the field rather than staying in the Raj Niwas. Do subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for regular videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our other social media platforms.